Okay, I wanted to go over function input and output and what makes a function because these are two topics that a lot of people had questions about last week. So, first, to talk about input and output, the input is going to be the same thing as your x values or your domain. So, that's two other ways that we can use input. So, we've got input, which are the x values. Okay, and we also call that our domain. So our x values or domain are all the x values in a set. So if I look at the set of points that I have here, my input, my domain are -2, 0, 1, 3, and 6. Okay, the second thing that I have is output. And output, we're talking about my y values. And those are also called your range. So in this particular one, my y values are always my second ones, and I'm circling them to make it easier. So my range is 6, 5, -4, 5, and 4. Now I don't have to write 5 twice. I did in this case because I want you to see where I got these values from. So those are input and output. The second thing is the actual definition of a function. And the function rule or is a rule that assigns each input with exactly one output. Okay? And when you watch the What is Function Basic video, one of the things that he talked about in that video was that it, if there is one input to many outputs, okay, then you don't have a function. So he mentioned that in the Math Antics video, and I want to just clear that up for you. So if I look at this particular set right here, I have my input values, okay, which are up here. And every input value has one output. So -2's input is 6. -2's output is 6. 0's output is 5. 1 is -4. So this is a function, okay, because there is not any repeats. There's not two inputs. So what changes is if I have more than one of the same input that have different output values. So if I look at how can we change the set so it's not a function, okay? So if I have my first input value is -2 and the output is 6, and -2's only output is 6. This is where we get exactly one output. But if I add a point -2, 7, now it's not a function because -2 has two outputs. Now -2 has an output of 6 and 7. So I added that, and that is no longer a function. Okay? And I can do that with different numbers. I could say, let's look at 0, 5. 0's output is 5. If I want to make this set change so that it's not a function, I would add another output for 0. So 6. Now it's not a function because 0 has two outputs. And it's not a function anymore. So I hope that clears it up. That's input and output, what makes a function, and which values are the input and which values are the output. Let me know what else you need videos on of things that you're not understanding.